On June 17th, 18th, depending on where you are in the world, we have a new moon in Gemini taking place. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you and guiding you through 8 journaling prompts directly inspired by the energetic themes surrounding this Gemini new moon. One of the energetic themes that I'm really feeling surrounding this Gemini new moon is the dynamic of allowing ourselves to dream bigger than we've ever dreamed and tune into the frequency and vibration of miracles while also remaining grounded in our human experience and in our current physical reality. And this dynamic definitely takes some practice to harmonize into, if you will. And I am intending for these prompts that I'm about to share with you to really assist you in that harmonization, in tuning into that energetic theme amongst the others that we'll be touching on through these prompts in a very clarifying and confidence building and comforting way. So I'm really excited to share these prompts with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. I'm so grateful you are here and have arrived to this space. If you enjoy lifestyle, spirituality, self-development, journaling, all of that good stuff, then make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos and you join in on this beautiful growing community. And as always, I'd love to know which of these prompts you end up journaling and really resonated with you the most. As you already know, your girl loves creating and cultivating community in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into these 8 Gemini new moon journaling prompts. What currently feels like unfinished business in my life? This Gemini new moon does have this energy of tying up loose ends. And it's important for us to hold space for this because I know so many of us have had this intuitive feeling progressing as this year has progressed. This intuitive feeling of there's this new chapter, there's this new era that's about to introduce itself to me. I can taste it. I can feel this new beginning about to commence in my life, in this renewed version of myself. However, I also just intuitively feel like there's some unfinished business that I need to take care of before this new life, before this renewed version of myself fully manifests and actualizes itself in my life. And so this Gemini new moon, as we are setting our intentions and being very intentional in our contemplations amongst this journaling session that we are holding space for, and I'm so grateful to guide you through, let's take a moment to feel into that unfinished business. What currently feels like unfinished business to you in your life? What needs do you feel need to be taken care of? What emotions do you feel need to be felt? What shadows do you feel need to be confronted and shed light on? What are those loose ends that you feel the need to tie up before you fully step into and embrace and welcome and receive this new beginning, this new chapter, this new era that you have intuitively been feeling is about to commence in your life? What conversation would currently feel very healing for me? conversation and communication are both very much so coming up for us amongst this Gemini new moon, this desire to openly communicate, this need to converse about something really important that may have been weighing on our hearts and our minds. So, what is that conversation for you? What is that communication for you that you feel would just be so healing, so liberating if you had it? And I encourage you to be as detailed and specific as possible. And if there is a specific someone that you feel like you need to have this conversation with, that you know, that you sense would just be so healing if you have this conversation with this specific person, write that down. Journal about why you feel like this conversation needs to be had with this specific person. Or maybe it's more than one person, or maybe it's with your own self, or maybe it's with an ancestor, maybe it's with God or source or creator, whatever higher power it is that you believe in and are in relationship with. What is that conversation for you that your heart has been just nudging you, has been communicating to you, like, please, like, have this conversation? If you just had this conversation and you mustered up the courage to have it and you held the space to openly receive it and give it, it would just be so healing for you. It would just be so liberating for you. So what is that conversation for you? And if you do choose to journal this prompt and you arrive to a point where you feel inspired to actually have this conversation, please have it. It will just be so perfect amongst this Gemini new moon. Which relationships in my life am I open to deepening? This is a very affirmative prompt. I mean, really all the prompts that I share with you all are very affirming and are intending to serve as an opportunity for you to affirm and to declare something that you may be releasing through the prompt or receiving through the prompt. And with this specific prompt, we are affirming the relationships that we're open to deepen in our lives. And I always bring this up when we talk about relationships in my videos, but I'm going to bring it again. I'm going to bring it up every time because it's so important that we expand our perception surrounding relationships. Because so often when we think about relationships, we think about our relationship with another human being, but there are so many different relationships in our lives that aren't just about our relationship with another person. We have a relationship with money. We have our relationship with our career. We have our relationship with our desires and our passions. We have our relationship with God, source, creator, again, whatever higher power it is that you believe in and have a relationship with. We have our relationship with nature. We have our relationship with our home and our environment. There are so many different relationship dynamics that we have in our lives that are beyond the human to human relationship. So I want you to keep that in mind as you journal this prompt and as you take a moment to contemplate which relationships in your life you are open to deepen. Because maybe you are, yes, open to deepen your relationship with this friend or with this coworker or with this client, but maybe you're also just really craving to deepen your relationship with money. Maybe you're craving to deepen your relationship with spirit. Maybe you're craving to deepen your relationship with your feelings. So whatever relationships it is for you that you are opening yourself up to deepen, journal those down. In what ways am I mentally, physically, spiritually surrendering? The one surrender that I sense the collective is really deeply desiring and actually beginning to actively practice and lean into is mental surrender. Like just so many of us increasingly realizing just one, the power of our minds and our thoughts and our words too, but that's a whole other conversation. But two, just how much what goes on in our minds is impacting our lives and our state of being and our just life experience and the way that we show up in the world and respond to life. And upon those realizations, just beginning to increasingly desire to just surrender certain thoughts, surrender certain patterns, surrender certain beliefs. And so I didn't want to just highlight mental surrender. I wanted us to also take a moment to journal about the ways in which we are physically surrendering as well and spiritually surrendering. So in what ways are you mentally surrendering, physically surrendering, and spiritually surrendering? And I feel like this is one of those prompts where it's like you may not know exactly how to answer it at first, but if you just allow yourself some time to sit with this prompt, you may be surprised with what comes up. And I encourage you not to skip over this prompt if it doesn't feel so easy for you to answer at first. What unseen realities am I actively choosing to trust? So one of the other energies surrounding this Gemini new moon is the energy of trusting the unseen and trusting the unknown. And so I wanted us to lean into that energy because it truly is so powerful and so spiritual and so beautiful that so many of us are surrendering to that and are leaning into that trust and into that faith. And I wanted us to allow ourselves to gain clarity as to what exactly we are choosing to trust in the unseen and in the unknown and in the mysteriousness of life. And I intentionally chose to use the wording realities because I truly believe that all that we can imagine and envision is real. So we are stepping into our faith frequency in this prompt. We're stepping into our visionary state of being and frequency and power, if you will, in this prompt. And we are, again, clarifying the realities that we are choosing to trust, even if we may not see them in front of us in this current moment. So what are those realities for you? What are those dreams for you? What are those visions for you? What are those resolutions for you that you are choosing to trust are on their way, are yours, are here and now, even if you may not see them yet? How am I holding space for my dreams and desires daily? So as I mentioned earlier in this video, this Gemini new moon is encouraging us and does have this energetic theme of dreaming bigger than we've ever dreamt. Yes, while also remaining grounded in our 3D reality and in our human experience and not getting a little too, out there to where we're dissociating with our bodies. But still just there has been this amplified energy of limitless possibility, of expanding beyond our self-imposed limitations. And In this prompt, you are being encouraged to hold space for that dreaming, for your desires on a daily basis. And some of you may be listening to this and may be feeling like, I don't have time to hold space for my dreams or for my desires. If you feel this way, I am lovingly encouraging you to still hold space for the possibility that you can hold space. No matter how seemingly small that space may be, for your dreams, for your desires that you so deserve to hold space for and to experience on a daily basis. So get creative with this prompt. Perhaps even take a moment to meditate with this prompt or any of the previous prompts that you feel kind of require a deeper contemplation. But all that said, how are you holding space for your dreams on a daily basis? How are you holding space for your desires on a daily basis and giving yourself that permission to feel into them so consistently, and giving yourself permission to realize them and feel them and experience them every single day? How would I describe an intuitive space? So, amongst this Gemini New Moon, leading up to it and after it, we are going to be feeling inspired to quote unquote operate more from an intuitive space, right? Like really just deepening our trust in our intuition, listening to ourselves more, getting to know what our inner knowing is, what the ultimate divine objective truths of life are. And even though it may take some courage and some bravery, just really trusting that. Again, kind of like going back to the other prompt of us, trusting the unseen and the unknown and the mysteries of life. Us really increasingly, again, operating from more of an intuitive space. But as I was, kind of like thinking about this energetic theme surrounding this Gemini New Moon of us, beginning to operate more from an intuitive space, I thought to myself, well, how would each and every single one of us describe this intuitive space? Because I feel like we would all describe it differently depending on, our relationship with our intuition and how we have been kind of, deepening and developing that relationship with this intuitive space. So I just wanted to offer you this prompt and give you this opportunity to ask yourself, how would I define an intuitive space? How would I define this intuitive relationship that I have been deepening and developing and desiring to lean into more? So all that to say, how would you describe an intuitive space? And I think this is also one of those prompts that may kind of feel a bit abstract and a bit difficult to answer, but don't be so quick to skip it. Give yourself a moment to contemplate on this and to just write down whatever first comes to your mind, and gift yourself the opportunity to maybe be pleasantly surprised with what comes up as your definition of an intuitive space. How have I been transcending societal and personal norms? So I intentionally left this prompt as the last prompt that I'm offering to you because I feel like all the previous prompts that I've offered to you have given you some clarity as to some of the ways that you have been transcending societal and personal norms. Because a lot of these prompts really are us, expanding beyond the norm, expanding beyond the self-imposed, societal imposed limitations. So how have you been transcending societal norms? How have you been transcending personal norms? Because again, progressing into this Gemini new moon, amongst this new moon, and after this new moon, we are going to increasingly more intentionally and actively be just creating a new norm for ourselves that don't reflect past versions of ourselves or even our current self that we're still working on shedding and don't really resonate with societal norms. So how are you, my friend, transcending societal and personal norms? And that, my friends, are the 8 journaling prompts for our Gemini new moon taking place on June 17th, 18th, again, depending on where you are in this world. And again, I would love to know which of these prompts really resonated with you and you ended up journaling. As always, I love connecting with you all in the comments. So I'm looking forward to speaking with some of you in the comment section below. But I thank you all so very much for tuning into this video. And again, if you are new here, please join our beautiful growing community. Don't miss out on my weekly videos. And again, I'm just so proud of you for tuning into content like this. It's so beautiful of you to be investing your time and energy in this way. So I would love to have you be a part of our community here. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you so much for bringing me into your precious present moment. Blessed Gemini new moon. Bye.